Hello everyone, we're probably about halfway through going through all the photographs here that I've taken across Italy on the trip I took back in 2017. We've left Genoa now and we've arrived in Lucca. This is going to be quite a short one, basically because I was only in Lucca for a little over 24 hours. Well, a day and a bit, sort of like a morning, if that. I only shot a single roll of 120 while I was there. So yeah, we don't really have much to talk about. To be perfectly honest, it's mostly the same thing. What I did when I was in Lucca was had a walk around the Muro, which is the medieval wall that encircles the entire of the old city, still standing. It's basically been turned into a big park. So yeah, it's like I think it's 4 kilometers, maybe 5 kilometer walk that totally encircles the old city around there. You can walk the entire thing in an hour or so. It's very nice, especially if the weather was nice, which it was on the day I was there. Tree-lined paths, that kind of thing, parks and things up on there. So yeah, we're going to be looking at those. First off here, what we've got is the cathedral. As you can see, I've managed to clip the top of the Campanile bell tower off in this image because I got as far back as I possibly could in the piazza to take a shot here. The lens on the Yashica TLR that I used to shoot this is 75mm, which that's in medium format, in 35mm or full frame if you want to describe digital terms. That's the equivalent of about 50. As you can probably tell, 50mm is not exactly a great lens for taking wide angle shots or needing to squeeze large buildings in. So this is the best I could get. I genuinely remember standing up on a little ledge and then with my back right up against the wall in order to take this photograph. So yeah, that's why it cuts off at the top. I like the little bit of light coming in over the front of the cathedral there. Shame I couldn't have waited until a little bit later on when it might have been shining more on the archways below as the sun moved. But like I said, I was in Lucca for a very short period of time, so a lot of these photos are just take what you can get, and that's about it. I really like this one. This is up on top of the Muro, the wall. Like I said, it's mostly parkland up there. They've turned into a sort of a big park that encircles the entire of the old city. And here you can see this girl is sat there, watching the late afternoon sun. There's a moat down there in the distance, little drawbridge kind of thing. We got the tree, like literally with the grass that she is sat on is grass on the very top of these massive medieval walls that were designed to protect the city from attack. Yeah, other than the fact the sky is horribly blown out because it's late afternoon and I'm shooting pretty much directly into the sunlight, I really like this, the silhouette of the girl and the tree and everything, and her just looking out into the distance. The placement of the foreground interest with the medium kind of distant stuff of the new city in the background there, I think it's quite nicely done. Again, just unfortunately that sky is not very good, but other than that, I really quite like that. And here we go, of one of about 1 million photos you're now going to see of pretty much the same thing. So we'll go through these very fast. Like I said, this video is not going to be a long one. This is some of the pathways that are on the top of the wall, as you can see, tree lined. And if you've watched enough of my videos now or seen enough of my photography, you probably realize that I really like repeating shadows and light and trees that do that for me. So that's why we've got an image here of just trees and a pathway disappearing off into the distance, nicely centered, repeating shadows and light, bam all the way through the image. So yeah, you're going to see an awful lot of this coming up. This is pretty much what all of this roll of film is. I mean, I say that and then the next one is just all shadow. I'm guessing here I was, again, just trying to do a little bit of the street photography kind of thing of capturing someone remotely looking interesting in the small patch of light that's available by here. Hence why most of the shadow is really underexposed, and then we've got this bright patch of light catching onto this runner who's running along the wall by here. This is all right, I guess. I completely forgot I even took this image until I literally just loaded it up on the screen then. But it's okay, isn't it? It's nothing fantastic. Shame that the face isn't what's in light. It's pretty much 3/4 of this person's body is in the light except for the face. Probably should have waited another second or two for them to be fully in the light before taking the photograph. This one I have up on my wall. It actually stands, I say stand, is on the wall next to the one from Turin that I said a few videos back was one of my favourite images I took of the entire trip. The one of the Borgo Medievale in Turin. This, again, it's repeating lines, repeating shadows, trees going off into the distance, pathway going off into the distance. I've composed this so it's more of a diagonal. So the pathway is more sort of diagonal from right to left, with the shadows sort of crossing across it in a big repetitive diagonal across as well. And then I've made sure that this bench is sort of within one of the shadows. Sorry, one of the shadows. The bench is within one of the patches of light that's available. So I quite like this, hence why it's up on the wall. Let me know what you think. I think it's all right. This one not so much. Again, it's repetitive stuff. You know, we've got trees going into the distance, the pathway. I've obviously taken it at a much lower angle this time around, and I don't think it's worked because the shadows are far too dark, far too large in the image. I probably should have taken this from, you know, the normal waist or eye height that I had been taking the other ones from, and that way the shadows look a bit more, you know, like I keep saying, repetitive. This is just pretty much the entire bottom third of the image is in a big dark shadow that doesn't do anything to it. Colours on the trees are nice. I mean, this is in autumn, so I mean, autumn is my favourite time of year to take photographs. But other than that, I'm a little bit disappointed with how this one came out. I'm guessing probably by the time I got to this, I had not made a full circle, but was probably about halfway around the walk that I took, because as you can see, the shadows have changed direction quite somewhat, and a lot more of the photograph is in shadow. You've got a little bit of the light, kind of the sun going down in the distance, peeking through on the left-hand side of the tree branches. Again, nice colours on the trees, nice colours on the foliage and on the ground, and you know, again we've got, you know, a leading line going off into the distance, you know, into the infinity point. But because we're now shooting directly into the sunlight, the sky is blown out, and because of where I'm now stood, and you know, I've moved around the city, the shadows aren't in as nice a place. You can clearly see from the left hand side they're more aiming behind me now, so you can't really see them as much. I don't really know what I was trying to do here. I'm guessing I was trying to take a photograph of that lamppost and managed to cut the top off it, so well done me. Again, it's just all shadow now, isn't it? There's nothing really interesting going on here. If this was in bright sunlight, this would look much nicer. But unfortunately, it's very much in shadow, and the sky again is blown out. So yeah, I not to disappoint you, but let's just say the last few images on this roll of film are nothing to write home about. They're nothing special. Again, that lamppost. I'm guessing I really liked that lamppost and wanted to actually take a picture where it didn't have the top cut off. Unfortunately, there's nothing else interesting going on in this, and weirdly I've decided to stand right next to the wall, so we've got this big leading line of the wall going through there, and it's cutting out everything. It's okay. Again, too much shadow, not enough interesting light, not enough interesting subject. Other than that lamppost, there's really bugger all going on in this, isn't there? We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here now, aren't we? I did say not all of these photos were going to be any good at all. As you can clearly see from this image, I just haven't wound the film on correctly. So when I have exposed the top frame and then gone for another photograph, I've managed to sort of mess this up, and there's this big black line underneath of you know, exposed film that's cut off, and I mean, it's not a great image anyway. It wouldn't have been fantastic, but it's a shame. It's a shame. It is much more of the same, but it's a good thing that most of the images earlier on this roll of film were better than this, because then it doesn't matter. And here we have the final one. I can see what I've tried to do here. I've tried to capture, again, repeating shadows with these trees going off into the distance, you know, the repetitive nature of the trees, and you know the pathway leading through them there with the wall on the right hand side, everything leading off into the distance, making your eye focus very dead center and follow it through the image. Unfortunately, from the looks of it, I've decided to massively overexpose this so that the sky is really, really bright, but none of the shadows seem to be showing up very well, other than the first, one shadow you can see cutting across the image from that tree on the right-hand side. The rest of them, they disappear very quickly. You can sort of make out the second, maybe make out the third, and then after that, there's not really anything, is there? So a little bit disappointed with this one. Shame, because it's the last roll, last image on the roll of film from here. But, you know, what are we going to do? Hey everyone, thanks very much for watching. Next time we'll be going to my favourite city in Italy, that's Florence. Been there quite a few times now. Like, subscribe, obviously go check out some of the other videos that I've put up on here, and until next time, thanks very much.